Okay, it's that time. Another episode, Jayo Stole Sports. We have hit the championship conference weekend.
Yeah, it
That
doesn't get bigger
point
than
in the
this.
season, what's good, Jay Lynch?
Chilling, my guy. You know what it is.
You already know. We're gonna get into these games, but like the coaching carousel has been crazy. It's
Yeah,
been absolutely wild, and we all knew that Harbaugh, after a win like that, you end on top. You're gonna go to the NFL. You got the job done in college. It's time to go to the NFL. He went to the Chargers. Is that the right move?
I think it is the right move for him, and I think it's the right move for the organization. Look at
Hmm.
Jim Harbaugh. He's almost like a celebrity. He has a huge presence wherever he is. Whether it's he's at a Clippers game, he's at a Lakers game,
Yeah.
people are gonna know who that is, right? So I feel like that does a lot for the Chargers because again, they're like the little brothers in the city.
Yeah.
For anything, right? For sports in general. Not no one really cares about the Chargers. People are more interested in the Rams,
Of
but
course.
nonetheless, they're more interested in the Lakers. So it'll be
Hmm.
nice to have someone like Jim Harbaugh that has that type of status to be in LA and be around Justin Herbert and that talented offense. And as a former San Diego Charger back in his day playing quarterback, I think it's a good fit for them.
Yeah, they kind of need this, right? I
Yeah,
mean, Justin Herbert needs this.
yeah, for sure.
We've seen what he did in his previous years. Everybody thinking he's the next Dan Marino, the next Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. He's getting all of these comparisons, which is kind of wild, but that's how it is nowadays in the social media era. But if he can't get the job done with Jim Harbaugh, this guy's gonna be the next guy that was used to be a Charger, former Charger. He's gonna be the next
He,
Philip Rivers.
he's gonna be a Phil. He's gonna be a Kirk Cousin.
He's
Might
gonna,
be a
he's gonna be,
might
he's
be a
gonna be
Kirky.
like, come on, like you have all those weapons there. Yeah, Quentin Johnson probably didn't have a great rookie season, but he's gonna come back. Keenan's still there. Mike Williams he's gonna be healthy.
Yeah,
And you
Austin Eckler
have,
is a question mark though. Who knows with Austin Eckler? Like he had a down year this year.
yeah.
He's getting up to an age. You know how that running back longevity works, right? You get
Mhm,
like 2, 3 good years of
mhm.
productivity. Now, who knows, right? Um, a good thing with him, he's a pass catching running back, so he could be versatile in the offense. But who knows? Because I feel like Harbaugh likes to run the ball, as we saw at Michigan. So it'd be very interesting to see that dynamic. But it's definitely a good move for the Chargers, and maybe this is what they need for Herbert to get in that Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, Josh Allen conversation.
Yeah, zero playoff wins.
Yeah,
You could say what you want. We've spoke about this stat pattern like crazy, but once it gets to the playoffs, he's only been there once and he
mhm.
choked.
Yeah,
Massive choke.
yeah. They were up, and then yeah, it's crazy.
Up
The comeback,
21-0, up 24-0, something like that.
yeah, against the Jags. Yeah,
Just kind of embarrassing, man. But again, that's like kind of how the baby brothers move.
yeah,
You've seen the Clippers in the playoffs before. They've given up 3-1 leads,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's pretty similar to that moment they had against the Jags. But I want to talk about your division.
Hmm.
Two new coaches there, Dave
Yeah,
Canales on
yeah,
the Panthers now, Raheem Morris on the
yeah.
Falcons now. Do any of those hires kind of scare you a bit? Like which one of those hires makes you think twice?
Right away, I put all these new hires above Dennis Allen. You know how I feel about Dennis Allen. So again, now we have the worst coach in the division. Dave Canales, familiar with the division, with Tampa Bay, had success with Tampa Bay for a while now.
Yeah.
But again, he has a tough project in Carolina for sure. With Bryce Young, they're going to have to draft very well, and they don't have a number one draft pick. So I think it's going to be a tough job for Dave Canales, regardless. So I don't know what they do. They're going to have a big offseason, try to get some pieces to help Bryce Young, but I think it'll be tough. Tough job. Raheem Morris with the Atlanta Falcons. Again, there's weapons there.
Mhm.
Um, the defense maybe has to get a bit better, and they need a quarterback. And then they need a quarterback. As
That's
much
it.
as the weapons they have, if he finds his quarterback, then things will look better for them for sure. And again, Raheem Morris, like his first coaching gig, he didn't do too well. He'll have his second go at it. and hopefully he learned from his mistakes and
Mm.
he does better. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. That division I think is wide open.
Oh yeah.
You never know who's going to win that division. Tampa Bay's won it 3 years in a row, so it's hard to say that, but expect the unexpected.
Yeah, and also Morris was the defensive coordinator of that Rams team when they won the Super Bowl. So he's definitely going to get the defense better. By the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's all about the quarterbacks. Quarterback driven league. You need to find that guy if it's in the draft, if it's through free agency, because there's guys in free agency that can be picked up. You see
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins, obviously Joe Flacco if you still have trust in him. But yeah, he's gonna have options. We're gonna see if he makes the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
Still a couple. Last two vacancies open, Seahawks and the Commanders. Which do you see as which do you see as a better job? Which one do you feel like a coach would rather go to? Seattle
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks offense is obviously booming,
Yeah.
but Washington Commanders, it's in a division where it's a new division winner almost every single year. So which
Yeah.
one do you think is more intriguing?
I think Seattle's a bit more attractive.
Yeah.
Just I feel like they're a better run organization over the last couple of years for sure. Washington has been a dumpster fire um, for the past couple of years, but of course they're making a lot of changes there, as
Mhm.
we see in ownership and in terms of coaching personnel as well. So um, it'll be interesting to see which direction they go. But Seattle is definitely a more attractive job. But who ends up getting that job, I really don't know. Right? I guess that'll be figured out in the off season. But I like Seattle. They just seem like they're a better organization. They have a bit more things around them to get the job done or
I think
to compete.
it has to be Ben Johnson. Like,
Yeah,
you have all those guys there, Lockett, Metcalf,
yeah.
JSN.
Kenneth Walker. Yeah,
The running backs are beasts. It has to be
yeah,
Ben Johnson. But this is the thing about the NFL. Like if you're still in the playoffs, you don't have that opportunity if you got bounced out
hmm
to sign right away. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I think it's not really working in his favor, but
hmm
he has to get it, man. Like
yeah.
Ben Johnson, since like the halfway point in the season, people are like, yeah, he's gonna be a head coach next year, no matter what. It's a lock. I think you have to give Ben Johnson this job, just what he's done with Jared Goff. And obviously he's helped out Dan Campbell a whole lot. Uh, it's a no-brainer for me, man. He has to get that job. And
I'm
that's the job
surprised.
for an offensive mind.
Yeah, I'm surprised in Washington. I always thought that Eric Bieniemy was going there to take the offensive coordinator job to now take on that head coaching job, but it doesn't look like it. Like there's
Because
been
they would have done it from
support.
time, right?
Right, exactly. So for me, when I look at Eric Bieniemy, it's like, why'd you even leave the Chiefs
Yeah,
if you weren't going to slide into a head coaching role
yeah,
right away? Like that one doesn't really make sense. You go to Washington and you kind of like
mhm,
taint your statistics or your
yeah,
like your quality because now you went there. The offense. I mean, Sam Howell did put up numbers, but
yeah.
he also turned over the ball a lot
Fair.
too. And you guys were one of the worst teams in the NFL. So again, maybe he wants to be part of the project with maybe landing one of these top three quarterbacks. But I don't know. I don't know what behind that decision making because he could have just been in Kansas City, still again going for another Super Bowl, and then just waiting behind Andy Reid to take over whenever he's ready to call quits.
Yeah, and it just makes sense if you did this from earlier. It doesn't make sense if they do it now, right? Like you
Yeah,
hire within, that should be just like, should be
yeah,
like clockwork. And they
exactly. End
haven't
of the
done it, so
season. Yeah,
you know they're gonna be looking elsewhere.
yeah,
You
clearly.
know
Yeah,
that. And for example, you've been hearing rumblings about Andy Reid might retire
right,
after this season.
right.
So he didn't even need to leave because
That's what I'm saying.
Kansas City could have hired within and maybe promoted him to the head coach because Mahomes and Kelsey love that guy. They've mentioned
Yeah,
it before. So
yeah,
yeah, he was probably a little too excited. He thought like he could change life over there in the Commanders, but Nah, man.
I
I
mean, the way they brought him in, it was almost seeming like he was the head coach, right? And it
yeah.
was just the offensive coordinator. And like I thought it was just okay. He's gonna get the job this year, and he doesn't look like he's gonna get that job. It looks like he's still gonna be an offensive coordinator with a new quarterback, so it's a new project. But you could have
Mm.
been with Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't understand that. I'm sure they probably gave him more money, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But hey, man, we got a couple of black new hires, so it's nice to see that,
Oh, for
Raheem
sure. Yeah.
Morris, Gerard Mayo. It's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Maybe Eric Bieniemy's time will come, but it just seems like it should have been happened. So
Yeah.
who knows? But let's talk about last week, man. I heard you talking
Yeah.
about 49ers. You're mentioning
Crazy.
Bosa, you're mentioning Chase Young, and I'm not impressed
Yeah. We
because
squeaked
I
through.
didn't.
Squeaked through. I
Yeah,
know.
I thought Jordan Love and them would have came through, but I just want to talk about that 49ers defense. You were mentioning all these guys, but
Yeah.
I was looking for the sack totals,
Yeah.
and I didn't see no sacks from them. They didn't look like those serious guys off
Listen.
the edge like you were talking about.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. What's going on with that defense?
Yeah, you're not wrong at all with that. Again, I just think Lafleur called a great game. He called a game-winning game. To be honest, that game somehow got out of their hands, and they were unfortunate to lose that one. But again, like you said, like you mentioned, Aaron Jones, he had a great game as well. He took over. Jordan Love slipped up in big moments. Romeo Dobbs, like
Mm,
Jordan Love really wasn't under pressure that much, really and truly,
no,
like you said, right?
not at all.
And it just was unforced errors that caused them to lose that game, right? He had
Horrible pick at the
two
end.
bad interceptions, and then there was no reason why they shouldn't drive down and got a field goal to take it overtime.
Yeah.
Um, but again, I'll give it to some rust. It's a bye. You had that bye as the number one seed. You could be a little rusty, a little slow start, But again, and it was raining. Brock Purdy, he needed some time. He didn't know if he wanted to wear a glove or not wear the glove. He settled down, and then he got it going. Gave the ball
Mm,
to CMC, got the ball to Brandon Ayuk, and again, don't forget Debo got hurt, right? Debo doesn't get hurt. Who knows how that game happened, how the game perspired, right? So again, I feel like coming back this week, they got that little scare. Now they're ready. Okay, they're ready to take on these feisty Lions,
yeah.
and they're ready to head into the Super Bowl.
Before I talk about the Lions, there's some of them in that game, the Lions and Bucks game I want to talk about. But since we're still on the 49ers, again, I can't reiterate it enough. This is an all-star team and you were
Mm.
naming them off. This
Yeah,
guy, that guy,
I mean Trey
Debo.
Greenlaw came up big. You know
I
what I mean?
didn't
So,
see any of those pass catchers go for over 100 yards. Like, what's going on? I understand like they got names for days, but it did not one player on defense and not one player on offense showed me like they can take over the game. Like you have to account for
Kittle
them
and
every
CMC,
single snap.
Kittle and CMC had their moments, and so did Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk had a huge reception on third down to extend the drive, and that led to that game-winning touchdown. Right, so you're not wrong. They had a slow start. The rain, Brock Purdy, he had to just settle in. Brock Purdy, so it was his third year, second year. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Give him some time. He was an MVP candidate. Don't forget.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, I hear you. I hear you. All right, so a familiar guy, CD. You seen
Yeah.
what he did? For y'all that don't know, CJ Gardner Johnson, former Saint, of course.
Yeah, my guy. I was sad to see him go, man. Very sad to see
So
him go.
this guy, he
Florida
loves
boys.
to
You don't know
chat.
Florida
Oh
boys.
yeah, he
Yeah.
loves to chatter. He has on the shiesty. He's that guy when it comes
Yeah.
to getting in your face, getting in your head. And this is where I think Baker got it wrong. It's like he gave into that. He paid attention to him. And look what happens in the first quarter. Throws a pick, and you know what CD gonna do. Gets in his
Yeah.
face, throws him the football. From
Mhm.
there, I was like, oh man, this game's over now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this game's over now. Because once you got a guy like that going, he's gonna get his team going, and then the crowd's gonna get going. You're at home, and Baker plays with a chip on his shoulder. If somebody tries him, he's gonna keep going at them. So
Mhm.
yeah, I did roll with the Bucks, but you can't do that in a high pressure situation. Baker needs to know better, and CD and that defense showed up, man.
Yeah, the defense showed up. The offense played well. Jared Gibbs, rookie, made some big plays for that team down the stretch. And Jared Goff, he's showing a lot of improvement, really and truly. He's delivering the ball to his star players, and they're making plays. So
Mm.
that team's very talented. Again, looking at this Lions Niners matchup, I don't think it'll be as easy as the Niners may want it to be.
Mm. Yeah, I think the Niners, come on, man, they stole the game last week.
Yeah.
I think after like not playing that well and coming out with a victory, like you're gonna play 1,000 times harder than next week. So
Mhm.
I do think the Niners will probably take this game, but also I just think the experience. Like I know a guy like CMC hasn't been on this stage. Well, he
Yeah.
has. He was there
Yeah. Yeah.
last season, but like he's still
Yeah.
new to this. But the
Mhm.
majority of the guys have been there. Nobody other than Jared Goff for the
Yeah.
Lions have
Yeah.
been.
Has been there. Yeah.
So it's gonna be new to them.
Mhm.
And if you want to go as far as to coaching, Kyle Shanahan is just a
Yeah.
smarter coach,
Yeah.
calls better plays than Dan Campbell. Even though
Yeah.
Dan Campbell gives the offensive duties to Ben Johnson,
Mhm.
he has the last call. Like he's the one that presses send. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be tough for the Lions, but hey man, this is like a dream story for them making it to the
For
NFC
sure.
Championship.
Again, I wouldn't be totally surprised if somehow the Lions squeak out a last minute field goal win.
Really?
Like I wouldn't be surprised. Like if they're
Okay.
able to keep it close, like Brock Purdy's not having the best game.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like the Niners, like even though they've blown out teams throughout the regular season, I don't know if they're that same team in the
No,
playoffs right now.
no,
Right.
no, 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 no.
And I think they're going to
Definitely.
get after Brock Purdy. They're going to try to rough him up. They've been playing physical all playoffs. They're going to try to out physical the Niners. So if they make it a game where there's a few turnovers, who knows how this game goes. My worry is, as you mentioned earlier, the Niners defense didn't show up against the
No.
Packers. Now, if they show up against Jared Goff, I don't like Jared Goff getting roughed up and him having a good game if he's getting roughed up or getting sacked a few times.
Yeah, Jared Goff, he's a timing kind of quarterback, you know? So like
Yeah,
you got him off his spot. He could be a bit erratic, but I get they have so much weapons, man. Like I don't think he needs to stay in the pocket for a long time. Like you get the ball out quick, Laporta, St. Brown. Even if you get the ball to Jameson, I'm sure he's gonna have a one or two play call for him. He's gonna go down the field. 49ers defense is not as good as it used to be. So if you can get out on them early, as we've seen, Packers had opportunities to get more points. Like obviously they had missed field goals.
yeah,
It doesn't other than that last drive, was Brock Purdy scaring anybody?
yeah,
Brock Purdy wasn't scaring anybody other than that last drive. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So we'll see how Ben Johnson calls this game and where Jared Goff goes from here because he's been here before. So
Mhm.
I don't see him having any fear at all.
Yeah,
I want to talk about the Chiefs game against the Bills.
yeah,
All right, so obviously you already mentioned it. Once you have somebody's number, it's a wrap. Like
yeah,
Patty Mahomes has Josh Allen's number, it's a
yeah.
wrap. But I just want to talk about the one play
Okay,
where Stephon Diggs missed that catch.
yeah,
Is that do you say that's a drop? Or
yeah.
since it's such a far thrown ball, that was like a 50-yard, 60-yard bomb.
Right.
Do you give him the benefit of the doubt, or it's windy, it's a tough catch, a guy's on him? Like where are you going with that?
As a number one receiver for
Yeah.
your team, in big moments, a guy that's usually outspoken. Um, you have to come up big in these
Yeah,
moments,
you have to
right?
bring that down.
You have to bring that down. You have to make a play. Even if it's one play during the game,
Hmm.
you have to make that play. Diggs was part of the whole game, right?
Yeah.
He needs to have a moment where he steps up, as Josh Allen was doing the whole game. He needs some help on the outside as well. So
Hmm.
those big plays where you just get up and you make a play, other receivers, top five receivers are making
Yeah.
that play. Justin Jefferson's making that play.
Hmm.
Chase is making that play. CeeDee's
Hmm.
making that play.
Hmm.
Devontae Adams.
Facts.
You know, those guys are making those plays. So if you could be a top five receiver, these are the plays you have to make in big moments, right? To take your team to the promised land. And if you can't get that done, you can yell at your quarterback all you want,
Facts.
but you can yell at the kicker all you want.
Hmm.
You know, you had your moment to make a huge play to put your team in the right position to win the game, and you didn't get it done. So
And you're making top five wide receiver money. So
yeah,
yeah, no, I agree with you there. The only way Josh Allen is getting to a Super Bowl is if somehow
yeah,
someone bounces Mahomes from the playoffs.
yeah. That's
I'm
it.
not gonna that's the only way.
And Joe, I don't know. I don't know who Josh Allen could beat. Really and truly.
Oh yeah, I mean I guess too, like yeah, Joe Burrow's not a tough out either, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, sheesh, man. Like that talent and it's that difficult for you to make the Super Bowl, man. And this
yeah.
defense is pretty stacked. Even though there was all those injuries, look how good they were playing with all those injuries. Von Miller, another guy you have to look at, man. Paid big bucks for him, didn't show up.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I know he's getting up there in age, but every team he's went to, he's won.
Yeah,
Rams,
it's a very
Broncos.
difficult. It was a very difficult point to be at for Buffalo. I don't know what they do going into the next season, right? Because it's gonna be the same old. I mean, they're just gonna hope for help
Yeah,
and hope everyone stays healthy throughout the season. But again, it's gonna come to a point where Mahomes is gonna be standing right there, looking across the field, right? And what are you gonna do about it?
yeah. Last game I want to talk about last week, Ravens, Texans. You actually called this one. It was going to be tight. And
Yeah,
it was tight. You got it.
yeah,
10-10 for a long time.
yeah.
And
And
then
then,
that
yeah,
number
I
one
told you, man.
seed, that number one
I
seed.
told you the defense was gonna say, yeah, you can have an inch, but you're not having a mile. That's it.
Yeah.
Hold the 10, and we're gonna just take off. And that's what it was, right? Close game to start. And I knew that the defense would buckle down and say no more. And then Lamar got comfortable. You know, the offense warmed up, and then it was curtains from that.
Yeah, yeah. And you see how this guy just dictates the game. Like
Mm-hmm.
Lamar, two on the ground, two through the air.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what he's gonna do. It's just too difficult to cover that, man. It's too difficult to cover that. We mentioned it over and over, bro. He's a game changer and he's healthy. Like
Yeah.
this guy is healthy right now. He could scamper off for a 50-yard gain any
Mm-hmm.
given time. He can throw a 50-yard bomb touchdown to Zay Flowers any given time. And Mark Andrews is coming back now. Mark Andrews is
Yeah.
coming back. How healthy he is, I don't know, but
But
he could be
does
the
that
perfect decoy for Likely.
but does that throw off the offense now? Because you know what happens when Mark Andrews is in there. He locks in on Mark, and then he forces it into Mark Andrews, right? Because that's his safety blanket. You've seen these past few weeks while Mark Andrews has been out,
Mm,
he's been spreading the ball around. You don't really know who's going to throw the ball to. They're almost very unpredictable with
mhm,
their offense. You can see Bateman get the ball. You can see
mm,
Zay Flowers get the ball. Likely gets the ball. You
yeah.
might see Odell get it, right? Nelson Aguilar, right? He's been spreading
I
the
know.
ball around, right? You never know who's going to get the ball. Now, Mark Andrews is now get Lamar, doesn't throw Lamar off his mojo, right? With having his star guy back.
Mm.
Like, what does this help or hinder?
I,
Again, I think it had to come down to the play calling. Like Mark Andrews is gonna have to be there as like a decoy, and
yeah,
like he comes in, and it's a Mark Andrews play, right? And then put him on the bench, and then go back to your regular offense. Like I feel like he should be like a tight end too, and still start like likely as a tight end one because he's been doing good.
yeah. I've always been whoever's a hot guy, you have to roll with him.
Yeah,
So right now, Isaiah Likely, he's looking like a top five tight end, top three tight end in the league. Like that's the way he's moving right now. And
Mm,
he's on fire. So again, you have to have him as tight end one.
yeah,
You can't have and I know Mark Andrews, he's Lamar's security blanket. Ever since he came to NFL, he's his number one guy that he looks for, but not in this situation, man. You can't just change things up just like that.
yeah.
Mark Andrews got to be on the field as a decoy,
That was
and
blocking.
you got to continue what you've been doing because once you lock in, especially against like a defense like this, Steve Spagnuolo defense, they've been in
Mm,
AFC Championship for the longest time, all the time. Then they're gonna come after Lamar
yeah,
because if you lock in on a receiver and you wait for him to get open, that's where sacks come in.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I think they just got to continue what they've been doing. Still put Andrews in the lineup, but not on the field like on a regular basis here and
yeah,
there.
yeah. I agree.
But yeah, let's get into these games.
Yeah,
These start off with the NFC, and I know the NFC game has to be the last game, but you know how it goes. West
yeah,
Coast, they have to have
yeah,
that
yeah.
last game, but you know the prime
Prime
time game
time. Yeah,
should be Chiefs and Baltimore.
Raven. Yeah.
It should be, but yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, we'll start off with Niners and the Lions. If you like, I'm gonna give you like a couple options. If this game comes down to who can run the ball better, are you rolling with the Lions or are you rolling with the Niners?
Niners. If you're telling me CMC is gonna go for 100 something yards, two
Yeah,
touchdowns,
yeah.
I don't see Niners losing.
So even with the two-headed monster, you see CMC still can overcome that.
Yeah, if CMC can't get stopped,
Yeah,
that Niners offense is unstoppable.
yeah.
And then
No, I
because
know.
if we're thinking CMC, maybe that means Debo as well getting some handoff as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I would choose CMC over Gibbs and Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Yeah.
What about the tight end matchup?
So Laporte or Kittle, right?
Laporta and Kittle.
I still give the edge to Kittle, right?
Mm,
Because if Kittle is having one of those games, because when Kittle makes plays, it's big plays.
yeah,
It's he catches it down the field and it's yak, right? It's him. He's breaking a tackle and he's getting down the field. Laporta's been big. Like he comes over with big catches, you know what I mean? But he's not a guy that's going to catch the ball over the middle, break a tackle, and then scamper off, right? He's going to catch
yeah.
it, pick up a third down, or catch a big touchdown in the red zone.
Last one, the wide receivers. The line, you were gonna roll the Lions or the 49ers when it comes to that side of the ball, that group.
This time I'll have to go with the Lions
Yeah.
because if Amon St. Brown is just going off and they can't stop him, that means Jared Goff is having a good game,
Yeah.
right? And if Jameson somehow gets a big score, right? Because with Jameson, it's always going to be run, big play to Jameson, right? And if he's catching that ball, then Niners have to be something to be worried about for sure. And then Laporte as well, you got to throw him into the mix as
Yeah.
well. That means Jared Goff is having a flawless game. That scares me more than if they're running the ball and having success, or the Niners are running the ball having success.
Yeah.
Sorry, Niners
So,
throwing the ball having success.
but what do you think this spread is looking like? So 7.5 favorites for the 49ers. Do you think they cover that spread? Or do you think this is a closer game than that? Because I do think that's a lot, man. Just
Yeah,
because I've not been impressed with the 49ers last week.
yeah. Honestly, I like the points because I think Dan Campbell's going to fight to them,
Yeah.
right? And that means even if they're down 2 scores late, he's going to get one back,
Hmm.
right? And I think they have the capability to get one back. Um, so I like the points in this one, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a close game also. I think it's a close game, but I have the Niners winning it. I know
Yeah.
you said you can see the Lions winning it,
Mm,
but I just think that as a team like that, all those guys, you have to
yeah.
bounce back in
Yeah.
impressive
Especially what
fashion.
happened last year, being this
Yeah,
close again. I
yeah.
just can't see them losing again. That would be
No,
devastating for them.
there's no way.
Yeah.
Let's get right to the game of the day tomorrow. The Ravens the Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions, the two best quarterbacks in the NFL. Say what you want, the two best quarterbacks in the NFL, MVP on one side, Super Bowl MVP on the other side. This game's gonna be absolutely fireworks. I'm amped that we get to watch it. First time these guys are facing off in the playoffs. To me, Lamar is more dynamic, but Mahomes is more clutch. If that, you know what I'm saying? If that makes
Mhm.
sense. And I in a game like this, bro, I just feel like whoever turns over the ball more, because you can't give the ball back to one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think whoever turns over the ball more is kind of it's kind of scaring me of being
Well,
able to win this game.
I think Lamar can't turn over the ball. Mahomes can turn over the ball because Mahomes. Mahomes can face adversity,
Hmm.
and as long as his defense can get the ball back, he's gonna make something up. Lamar though, that's different because Lamar, if he's having a bad game, throwing picks, or fumbling, whatever the case may be, then I could see Lamar's game getting thrown off, and he's gonna be a bit indecisive and unsure of himself. And we can't have that for Lamar. Lamar, the game has to go on script, and he'll be fine, and then they'll do what they have to do.
I
But if he's
just
having a game where he's turning over the ball, I don't like that at all from him.
yeah. I just feel like we haven't seen that from him. Like we haven't
Yeah,
seen that from him this year. Even the fumbling, we haven't even seen that from him, and he's still putting in work on the ground. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? We haven't been seeing that. I just think everything is going right for the Ravens right now. And the
yeah,
reason why I said whoever turns over the ball might be in jeopardy of winning this game is because the Ravens defense is the best in the league, man.
yeah,
The Ravens defense
yeah.
is the best in the league, scoring defense and
We saw what
takeaways.
we saw what they did to the Niners not too long ago.
Yeah, four
Yeah,
picks.
yeah,
Four picks on Purdy.
yeah.
So we'll see, but I mentioned this last week. Kelsey got to get going. Kelsey did what he had to do.
Two
And in a
touchdowns.
game like this, also, if Kelsey gets going, man, that's when you see MVS come up with plays because it's not as
Yeah,
much pressure. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Obviously, Rice is always going to come up with plays because that's his number one wide receiver. So that's the thing. Kelsey gets going, these other guys, that's when they're like, oh, I got to contribute also. Like MVS made an incredible catch on the sideline, man.
yeah,
Always
yeah.
getting all this flack, but look at that. He made up for it.
But man, this Ravens defense, our linebacking core and into the secondary, Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith,
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton,
Yeah.
man, and Marlon Humphreys, like that. This unit on the Ravens side of the ball
Yeah.
is legit.
Yeah.
So, like again, the Chiefs' offense has somewhat struggled throughout the
Mhm.
season, and I just can't see them just somehow just like they're dominating this Ravens defense. There's no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I feel like this Ravens defense are going to make big plays, and the Chiefs are going to have to fight for every yard and for every big play, and that's going to be a lot for them, especially if Ravens are able to march down the field and score.
Yeah. All right, man. So prediction, I'm gonna go with the Ravens just because I have them winning the whole thing. But regardless, whoever wins this game, I know is winning the Super Bowl. I already know that. But there's just like if you look at the storylines, Ed Reed and Ray Lewis gonna be legends of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Michael Phelps
Oh
delivering the
man,
game ball.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's written in the scripts for the
But
Ravens to
Taylor
win.
Swift, man, Taylor Swift energy is strong, fam, and powerful. I don't know,
Did you,
man.
did you see that painting, that mural with Taylor Swift in Lamar jersey jersey?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy.
Lamar Jackson jersey, that was
Yeah,
jokes. But yeah, I think the Ravens get this win. It's gonna go down to the wire. It's gonna go
yeah.
down to the wire. And this is just what you want to see, man. Two black quarterbacks at the top of their game.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting, man.
So I'm gonna go. Okay, I want Niners Ravens Super Bowl because
Mm.
I placed that bet Niners Ravens. Like
You
that's
want to
who
see
I
that
want.
rematch?
I'm trying to see that rematch, the blackout rematch. But I can see the Chiefs Niners rematch as well.
Mm.
Right.
Hmm.
So that's more recent in our history.
Yeah.
So Niners can get their revenge as well. So I don't know. I can see it either way.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm hoping for a Ravens Niners Super Bowl because I don't want to see Mahomes in the Super Bowl again. I can't see it with Taylor Swift. Come on, give us a break.
Yeah, nah, come on, bro. Taylor Swift been looking nice. Like I
For
always
who?
Taylor
For
Swift is
you?
nice, man.
Nah, nah,
But
nah.
now she's out here swag surfing.
That's she got you.
Nah,
Eh? That's how they
just
got you.
went up a couple notches for me, bro.
Come on.
What do you
I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like that. She's a culture
and
vulture.
she likes football. Come on, bro.
Nah,
That's
nah.
nice.
She's a culture vulture. I don't like culture vulture.
Oh my goodness. Why can't we just watch football, enjoy life, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I could do that with Lamar in the finals, or even better, give me Baltimore and Detroit in the finals. Real black. Let's get real black out here. Huh? Let's get the buffs on. Let's get the fur coats. You know what I
oh
mean?
my
All that
goodness.
all in Vegas. That's what I need to see.
Hey, Taylor Swift, T Swift, you have a fan in me, huh? Hey, I'm a
Well,
part, I'm
that
a
could
part
be
of,
part of your love story.
that track's fire. I don't care. That's one of the biggest tracks. Yeah, I'm a part of that gang, but nah, man, it's Jayo Stole Sports. You already know Jay Lynch had to come through.
Of course.
Championship conference weekend.
Hmm.
You already know we are signing out big games tomorrow.
Let's
Big
go, guys.
games.
Let's
Let's
go.
get
Let's go. Ravens, Niners. I need that.
it.